Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh. Oh, it is live. Oh, I didn't know that it was live. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a good start to the morning. We got Wes Jingles joining us a little late. Hope you guys are all having a good start. There we go. That was an embarrassing start. I actually didn't know that we were live, and I clicked the thing, and I was I was like, are we live? But yeah, hope you guys are all having a good start to the morning. Today is Friday. One of the things that I want to point out is that, I don't know if you saw, there's a huge market sell-off on /NQ/NG and forward. Pretty much everything sold off. And usually natural gas has not influenced that aggressively, but huge sell-off on pretty much everything. So one of the things that, and we can talk about it. One of the things that happened is China threatened, you know how like Trump continues to like go back and forth with China with like all these like tariffs, right, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then China's like, I wouldn't, is it called their president, right, or their their dude, what's it called, wants to threatened with like a $75 billion tariff on like U.S. automobiles and stuff like that. So they're just gonna charge more for like U.S. automobiles and make it. And I'm guessing China's like a huge import when it comes down to that. So
I'm sure.
Yeah. What is going on? So yeah, I didn't mean to like offend with like their dude. I just sometimes they're not called the like president. It's called like their.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it's
What is it called, like?
Emperor.
Well, I mean, China's like a communist.
I mean,
country, right?
Or they have a queen and stuff in other places and king. You know?
Yeah, all right. That's their president. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I guess it's either as their president. Yeah, because they do get. That is a prime minister. Yeah, it's a little different. There we go. So the market just opened. We have a strong push up on /CL. I'm actually really excited to just give this a little bit more time. I know that this is going to be almost like super boring, but I want to see what continues to happen. I want to see how the market reacts to this. I want to see if it actually begins to recover, and if so, cool, right? Then we can pay attention to the correlating ETFs that actually will begin to push up, or if it actually begins to pull back, and then we can just can go with the flow with like, you know, whatever ETFs or ETNs are then selling off. So as of right now, I would say it's in the very early stages of, you know, a potential push up, or again, it could then begin to make lower lows and stuff like that. So DWT absolutely just ripping it. And again, this all happened right around 5 o'clock. So a very strong push up. I think this is about 9%. Yeah, 9.47%. And then it pulled back, hit highs of 728. It actually looks like it's trying to pull back. One of the things that, you know, I'm still trying to be a little bit more selective on, so they don't have a queen. No. He was just giving an example of like, you know, in like, right, what was it? I know like Europe and stuff like that. In some of their countries, they have like queens and kings and stuff like that. But no, we understand that. And China, it's a little different. They're a communist country, so it's a little different. And 30 minutes. Okay, so wow. Okay, there's gonna be a speech in 30 minutes. All right. Be careful with the /CL. It's fun. Yeah. I've, you know when like the negative news came out for Trump and the delay, right? They're going to delay the tariffs on China goods, and that pushed up for the market, right? And then that pushed up crude oil. That did not really have an influence on natural gas. But now, because of how bad this news was, it actually did have an influence, which is like a little scary because like I never thought that it was going to be affected too much, right? But it's crazy to see like how much of an impact that really does have, especially on something like natural gas.
Yeah.
Here it goes. It looks like it's beginning to consolidate around here. So, all right. everyone's talking about. I think it's called the vice chairman. I think it's called the prime minister. No, it's called the president. There it goes. So it looks like we are getting somewhat of a pullback. So if this thing continues to pull back, then again, that's going to be in favor of DWT, right? The more that this thing sells off, the more that DWT can potentially continue to push up. But again, the direction is not super clear at all. So there's a lot of volatility on /NQ. As you guys can see right here, there's a lot of consolidation, a lot of push up, a lot of pullback. So the direction, again, just to keep it super simple, I do not find it to be. So I don't even know if I'm going to trade within this 30-minute session, especially if someone's going to be talking about what's going on within 30 minutes, right? Or giving a speech on what just happened. So do we have to do something other than paper trade simulation trades for the challenge in yesterday's video? So the whole point of, I don't know if not a lot of people saw it. I uploaded the video very, very late, and I do apologize for that. I just, well, give me 1 second. We were just getting a lot of questions about the inconsistency with the market and that it's been so choppy and some people struggling when it comes down to cutting losses. And I just thought it was kind of the best of both worlds, right? So if you guys have not checked out yesterday's video, I pretty much talk about this like risk management challenge, and the whole purpose of that is just to empower you to practice cutting losses, especially when the market is not working and not going according to plan. That's all the video is. It's ideal for simulation trading and paper trading because again, there's no money at risk. But all I want you to do is to practice getting filled when cutting losses. So it just becomes more of like, second nature. That's all the whole purpose of that video is, for you to practice to manage your risk, right? But yeah, feel free to check out the video. It does a much better job explaining a little bit more in detail. And we got so much positive feedback on that concept that, I can, only a few people I would say that are actually going to pull through and practice, because at the end of the day, cutting losses is not a glorified part of the stock market, right? Making money is. So at the end of the day, it depends on how bad you want it. And if you're someone that wants to work towards being that 5%, then you need to refine and work on areas that, you need improvement on. So it looks like /CL is beginning to recover. So that means that is in favor of UWT, right?
Yeah, I could see how, in my eyes,
how it can begin to recover.
Because I was looking at this at DWT, and I made this.
It definitely has like pullback potential for DWT, right?
Or I did this, where I was seeing that DWT was kind of hitting these.
But again, the whole reason that it pushed up is because of that news.
Okay.
So if they give that speech in 30 minutes, and then it's in favor of China. Or in China, right? Then again, we would most likely see /. That's another reason for /CL to then sell off, which will then push DWT. So it doesn't matter how overbought it is, because if the news and the hype takes over,
the situation,
then that altogether will just continue to push up. So that's why I'm saying that it's Friday. We don't want to be put in a bad position, especially when something changes direction so quickly. That we can just do our part and maybe just being a little bit more selective with when we choose to get in and get out. So not really, Jeffrey. So I get what you're saying. So like, I guess we can, right, and wait for /CL to push up a lot and then it get rejected, as it's bound to pull back, kind of like it's doing right now. But I wouldn't really see that to be a margin that's that's worth for the profit. As of right now, /CL just looks like it's trying to recover, so it's showing signs of a recent higher high and higher lows. So I probably don't want to trade against this pattern. But really, what I'm looking for is the middle VWAP and the SMA line right now are going to be most likely going to try to act as a resistance. Or, if we begin to make lower lows and lower highs, then again, that can give me a better understanding of the true direction of the way something is heading. So what's going on with China? I would encourage you to kind of just Google it right now if you can. So you can Google China tariffs, and pretty much the president of China. I think just due to, China's like a very powerful country, right? And Trump in the way that he's like handling, I'm not here to say like what's right or wrong, but saying that he's delaying the tariffs on China goods. China again is not really, I think, a country that takes that lightly. So then they're like, okay, well, we plan to put a $75 billion tariff on U.S. automobiles, and I think with that, that's a huge export for the United States. And if they put such a huge tariff on U.S. automobiles, then that's going to really limit the amount of, overall exports that we send out to China, especially it being such a, large country and such a powerful country and such like a dominating, just has such a powerful economy as well. So it's crazy. I was watching a couple of videos on like China, and they're like, and their development, right, for like their airports and their subways and their trains and stuff like that. It is so crazy to see what it is that they're doing and how they're reinvesting into there's definitely like the rural areas, right, of China, but when it comes down to their suburban areas or cities, it is so crazy to see. I think they invested like $8 or $12 billion, I forgot, on one of their airports, a huge airport. It looks like an ant, like
an anthill.
Yeah, no, it looks crazy. But it's like the largest airport in the world.
Really?
We got Kyle saying one of the newest members of Flipping Wheels, and ooh, it feels good.
Really?
We got
Let's do it.
Kyle right here. Here it goes. Looks like /CL
we going live today?
is beginning to pull back. There it goes. Do you guys see that? I know there's one airport that's like 40 miles long. Yeah, I don't know all the exact details about how long it is, but I just know it's super expensive, and it's one of the most advanced airports in the world today. So, and then they have a huge subway system that costs billions of dollars as well. And they're super trains. They're like, what are they called? Yeah, they go like 200 or 300 miles per hour. Or 200 miles per hour, something like that. Yeah, so with all this talk about, the market selling off and all this uncertainty, gold should be pushing up, right? Yeah, look at that.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
I like that. Strong push up again. If the market begins to sell off, the only reason I'm talking about this is so you understand the way that things react, right? So with there being market uncertainty, again, we go back to focusing on gold. Gold pushes up. So if the market then begins to recover, then gold will begin to pull back. So again, just understand that flow, right? Understand that way that it moves. Ricky, what's up? Could you go over confirmation like we talked about? Of course. So pretty much, this one's a little bit different because right now this is an overall descending pattern, and although it does have confirmation, and what I mean by that, it has a continuous pattern, trading above the EMA line of higher highs and higher lows. Right now we are showing signs of an uptrend, but because the overall pattern is a descending pattern, I would even be that much more selective to then wait for the middle VWAP and to wait for the SMA line for this thing to trade all the way back above that and for everything to be in its favor, right? If it was an ascending uptrend pattern, then I guess we can go to /GC. It's much easier to then identify maybe what are better times to buy, right? So when it corrects itself, it consolidates at 3 stages of reversal, sell-off, consolidates at flatlines, and then it begins to make higher highs. This, right, when it no longer flatlines and begins to push up, this price action is what makes sense to me, that, okay, now it's showing signs of growth. Now I want to partake in /GC or gold, right? Because this is when the action is happening. That's what I mean by confirmation. So /NG looking like it's getting rejected at that middle VWAP, right? So it looks like it's right about to sell off. So Girlfriend TNDM is up past few days. Nice. When gold goes back to regular, is it ideal to be in JDST or to, well, if gold then begins to pull back and you want to partake in that, and if gold begins to pull back, then you can trade the inverse, which is JDST, right? And then this thing recovers when gold sells off, right? So you just have to understand the way something moves when something happens. So when there's market uncertainty, gold pushes up, JNUG pushes up, that means JDST pushes down. If the market then begins to recover and we get that confirmation of that sell-off, then JNUG will pull back with gold and JDST will then push up with the market. Does that make sense? A lot of consolidation. Do you guys see this? A lot of consolidation. Ricky, do you trade futures, Forex, or crypto at all? No, no, and no. I'm boring, right? No, I don't. So, Weston, let me buy the Acura TLX from you.
Hey, I will sell it to you. No doubt.
But if my boy Jason wants to buy it, we gotta make sure we give him a good deal.
Where is it?
Right there.
Ah, I thought that's who it was. I always talk to him.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on.
All right. So we're just kind of consolidating here. So again, I want there to be a little bit more clear of a direction. Misty, one of the things that I just want to remind you, we can go on the 1 day 5 minute chart, and you're talking about /NG, right? And you're saying that it's overextended. Wait. I wouldn't even say it still looks bullish, right? It almost looks extended, and it almost looks like if it does get rejected, that it's going to begin to descend. One of the things that I want to remind you is when the market right now is being influenced by news, those are catalysts that are driving the price up or down. Regardless of what an indicator says, right? Regardless if the RSI is super overextended, right? And if Trump releases a statement that they came to a solution and they're not going to have those tariffs anymore, that's going to create the market to recover, right? So regardless of how overextended it already is and not a good deal, it will continue to push up because of the positive news. Indicators are to be used as a reference, right? Not to be used as the final decision maker on when you should get in and when you should get out. Altogether, they're good to be used as a reference, but yeah. So /NG definitely did have a strong push right now as we were talking about it. And it looks like it is, still trying to push up. But at the end of the day, the overall market is still down. Again, if there's any of the four main futures that we focus on with natural gas, crude oil, NASDAQ, and gold, I would say that natural gas itself, I think, would be the one less influenced by everything that's going on. And there it goes. Wow. Look at that.
Whoa. What does that mean? All of a sudden.
That's for you guys. Oh, and everything else is pulling back. Let's see. Look at that. So what we're looking at right now is /CL. If we see /CL, it almost looks like it's curling and heading back down, but it might begin to recover here. Yeah, I'm going to hold off right now. One of the things that I'm seeing is on /CL, we're beginning to curl back down, right? So it's almost making this like break a pattern where it's no longer recovering, it's trying to sell off, but it also did do this over here and then it recovered. So it's definitely something that I have to take into consideration. / NQ just broke below. Yeah, so that's selling off as well. So is this going to follow? Where's natural gas now? Now natural gas should be overextended. In on Diaz. Okay, I can see why. Just again, if it continues to rally, that's one of the things that you want to be very careful, on when you're trading against the overall direction. I have not bought, not yet. No, you can see right here that there's not one open position. There it goes. Wow, look, there it goes again. Overall market selling back off.
You just buy orders?
Well, I went in with with DWT, which means that if / CL follows the market, then do well. But there it goes. Okay. It's not really pushing up or aggressively selling off for / CL, so there's not another reason to add just yet. It looks like it's going to try to find a support here for / CL. Wow, just made lower lows. I'm not even in that, but that's just rough just to see, like. I like that, Nelson. I think that's a good idea. And it's trying to find a support. Let's see if it pushes above the EMA line. Are we going to consolidate here, push up, or make lower lows? Or get rejected by the EMA line, right? That's kind of what I'm looking out for. Trying to see if there's a break of pattern.
Trying to focus in on this. All these stocks. So much action.
The MACD is definitely in favor of /CL, right? And UWT. So like the indicators make sense that it can push up. The only indicator that's not is like the EMA lines and the SMA lines and the middle VWAPs and stuff like that. But knowing that it pulled back, it corrected itself, and we can try to recover, definitely in favor.
Of UWT?
Of UWT, yeah, but...
I could see that too. But
yeah.
big sell-off after hours. Pre-market.
Extended hours, yeah. Locked in almost 1% on SQs. Did exactly what you said. You made 150 on it. No way it has been working. Oh, I like that, Brett. Congrats. Super happy to hear that. Looks like it's trying to get rejected by the EMA line, but it's too early to tell right now. So right now, pretty much what I'm looking for is to either cut losses if I begin to see higher highs on /CL, because then that's in favor of UWT and not what I'm trading. And or if it's going to get rejected by the EMA line and actually continue to make lower lows, then it's continuing with its pattern. So I'd kind of view this to be like a critical point. So I'm not really paying attention to the exact indicator. I'm paying attention to the overall way that it's moving, right? Is it showing signs of recovery, or did it, there's a difference from a pullback and a sell-off, and that's exactly what, I'm trying to differentiate. Did we just pull back to the EMA line and can it continue to sell off? Because then that's still in favor of DWT. Or is it pulling back and then going to push up, which then means that DWT is then selling off, and then that's not in favor or no longer relevant to the pattern that I originally saw. So there it goes. It's trying to consolidate. So by consolidating, it's trying to build a support. And Do I have a mid to long term view on forward/sale? I would have to look at it a little bit in the larger time frames and probably look at it during the seasons to give you a better answer to that. As of right now, I do not. So maybe that's something that I can follow up with. But I really appreciate you asking, Bliss. Bliss the Miss. You guys are very funny with your usernames. I like that, Brody. What's going on, Brody? Oh, right now it's not looking too hot for us. It looks like it's beginning to consolidate, right? And I don't know if we're going to make lower lows, if we're going to make higher highs here. And it's beginning to push up above the EMA line. Do you see that? Okay. So it's 7 o'clock, 30 minutes after the market opens.
Do you think it'd be a bad idea to get a new WT? It's too early.
I would say it's too early. In my opinion, it's too early. The direction is not super clear, so.
Yeah.
Yikes. 708. That was a really bad exit because that's like, yeah. So it's pushing up.
Oh man.
Cool. What?
The WT.
Well, yeah, it pushed up, but it was not certain, right?
Yeah.
That it was going to push up. So that would have been a hefty, yikes, 1% loss. Great way to start the morning. This week has been so beautiful. And there it goes. Wow. Okay. Well, there's big plays. Again, I thought that this was going to be in the very early stages of a potential sell-off. The margin of profit, in my eyes, just to put into perspective, if I'm not mistaken, it's about like almost 2 to 2.5% from where it is that I was getting in to highs of where it was before. That's about 2%, and I saw that to be worth it. Again, it ended up breaking its pattern. And not really. I mean, it's pulling back, but the pattern is still there. It's just, because it's not really selling off. It's kind of just like pulling back a little bit. So it's not really making lower lows by any means. But I just don't want to add, right? It's Friday. I know I can recover from a 1% loss. A 2% loss, 3% loss, that's going to be a little bit more hefty to recover from. And yeah, still a lot of daylight. A 1% margin, especially with all this, right, that we have going on. There it goes.
Dang, I just sold out.
You traded it?
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Sorry. Right?
I actually don't like trading when it's just so inconsistent because I don't know which way it's going to be going.
What did I make? I planned it. I was like in it quick. Oh, 1.54%.
Dang. Oh, you passed over 1,000.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hey, that was cool. Scary, dude. My heart gets going.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's at $1 or it's 150,
Good for you.
200. All right, well, there goes my day trade. That was fun.
When did you get in? When it was beginning to push up?
Here, I'll show you my price points. Guess we can do that. I bought just 92 shares at $10.95. So right about
10.95.
Yeah, right here.
Oh wow! Oh, that was way before the push.
Yeah. Well, it pushed right here, right? And then it sold off really quick. Like it went back. It was weird. Did a quick push up.
I see it.
Then I set it just in case it. Yeah, and it did. And then.
They're like, hey, maybe Weston should be teaching this course.
Oh my gosh, shut up. And then $11.12.
Nice, I like it. Ooh, I just got a cramp on my neck. Jesus.
All right, well, back to no day trades.
No more day trades.
Mm-mm. I don't think I'll hold over the weekend.
Huge push up, and then now beginning.
Do you ever prefer that?
What?
Swing trades over the weekend?
No, not especially not with the current market conditions.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a good question.
No, I get it. I get it. Dude, look at natural gas. Huge push up.
Where?
/NQ.
Woo.
Let's see. Based off of its recent three, peaks here, and here, it makes sense on why it could pull back. But right now they're giving that, what's it called?
Speech.
Yeah, the speech. So if anything, I think I'm gonna just watch it and then see what happens after that. Cause, yeah, I don't want to put myself in a bigger hole. So. But yeah, we're approaching that middle VWAP and that SMA line for both /CL and UWT, right? So that's good. It's looking a little bit more attractive. There it goes. It's beginning to push up. What is Weston's trade count? So Weston is trading both on his simulation trading on TD Ameritrade and on his phone through Robinhood. So on his Robinhood account with real money, you now broke 1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with his simulation trading account, well, I think he has like 150,000 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's balling. But yeah, he bought at 10.95 and then sold at 11 what?
12, I believe.
11.12, so it was like about 1.54%. Yeah, so you guys saw the bad trade that I took. I just don't want to put myself in a even worse position. It looks like it's still selling off. I hope that the market begins to recover, because if DWT then does begin to sell off, it's going to be very easy to see that clear pattern of DWT selling off, and then we can focus on DWT and vice versa, right, depending on which way it goes. Yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna try to tune on in to the speech and try to get a little bit of a better understanding of what they're going to be announcing. So yeah, is there any questions that I could Ricky, how does your cursor show the price? I think with this trendline tool, so you go to drawing tools, and then trendline, and then I can go from there. So you guys is pushing. Okay, so /NG. Yeah, one of the things, again, understand when something's overbought and overextended. You guys is definitely overbought. It's still pushing up, so I wouldn't trade against it, but if and only if you do get confirmations of a sell-off, again, it's bound to pull back and correct itself. We just don't know when. So just keep an eye. Again, DGAS does have a pretty big spread between the ask and the bid. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So where do you watch the speech? That's something that I'll let you guys know once I figure it out. As of right now, I don't know. So they're probably broadcasting it live on YouTube as well. So do you see value on DGAS next week? I'm taking it day by day, especially with so much uncertainty and so much news influencing the overall market. there's not a clear answer that I can give you when it comes down to that. So, expansion, blah, blah. Okay. It doesn't look like it's having too much of an influence on forward/sale as of right now. So no huge recovery, no huge sell-off. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But I appreciate you guys' time. Continue working hard. Continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. And I'll keep you guys up to date on where, if I do find that speech. And if you guys find it, then feel free to share the link in the Learn Plan Profit main chat so other people can tune on in and do their own due diligence. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Friday. Take it easy, team. And sorry for the bad trade. Just, yeah, I'd rather manage my risk at 1% than be down, 1.5, 2%. So I know I can recover from 1%, recovering from 2 to 3%. Again, risk management is our number one priority, especially with these current market conditions. So on Bloomberg, appreciate you, Pascal. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you, team.